I know that before we get underway, our president of the FIA, John Todd, would love to say a few words.
Shake that.
Shake. You do? We have, where is the handheld microphone? Yes, please. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody. And as Werner Kraus, who is the president of OMTC, to join me to welcome you in Vienna, in this amazing location. We just finished quite a heavy week of meetings, and we concluded with a very successful General Assembly, but I don't think you came here to hear a lot about that, at least at the moment. But I'm very proud to welcome Nico Rosberg, the amazing champion. And honestly, I speak with a lot of emotion. I was mentioning him because I knew him as a small boy. He was 5. And his father at the time was the head of Peugeot Motorsport, and his father was the driver of the 905 Peugeot. And so, of course, had some friendly links with the father, with the mom, and the little boy who was there. And he had been doing an amazing career. And I was looking, reading, and when he was mentioning people who have been supporting him, and I'm also very proud to know that my son was part of his career in the GP2 with the team and all the partners. So, Nico has been going through, the whole pyramid. It's something we try to privilege, starting from go-kart, going to different single categories, and arriving in Formula 1 and succeeding in Formula 1. He was driving one amazing car because in motor racing it's a very specific sport, as the word says, motor racing. So you need a car, you need a team, and you need a driver. And at this level, everything the leaderships have been able to put all that together, and that does explain the success. And very often I have heard complaints about Mercedes being too strong, with the drivers being too strong, but simply they were too strong because they did the best job. And I must say I was fortunate enough to lead that in another part of my life. And I'm very admirative because I know the effort you need to give. If I speak more about Nico, he had to fight against a great champion, which is Lewis Hamilton. And at the end of the day, he had been the best of the season because he won the championship. So I think it would be, I read quite a lot about one other having retirement and all. But each one, as I remember, and it's something I was thinking, because that during the course of the year, we changed the regulation, which was an interpretation from the stewards, where I think he lost 1 or 2 positions, and he lost a few points. And I was thinking maybe it could affect the end of the championship, which it did not at the end. So, a lot of parameters have happened during the course of the season, and the winner is Nico Rosberg, and I congratulate him for his amazing achievement. Well done.
Could we just get a photograph of you two together, please, Jean? Just you and Nico together, just a photograph, please. There we go. FIA President Jean Todd.
I think we should have a photo with Toto as well.
Toto, perhaps you come up as well. Thank you.
Away from this.
There we go. Let's say okay. So, thank you, Mr. President. Could I ask you just to stay on the stage for a second, please, Jean? Because, Nico, it's been a fantastic year for you, but I know before we got started this afternoon, you wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, so for me, thank you all for coming. For me, it's a very special day today. Of course, as you know, to receive the trophy this evening. It's going to be amazing. But for another reason as well, I want to take the opportunity to announce that I've decided to end my Formula 1 career in this moment here on Monday. And yeah, so to explain, it's been ever since I started when I was 6 years old. I had, a very, very clear dream, and that was to become Formula 1 world champion. And it was very, very clear in my mind, as long as I can think when I was growing up. And now I've achieved that. I've put everything into it for 25 years of racing, and with the help of everybody around me, with the help of fans, and the help of my team and my family and everybody and my friends, I've managed to achieve that this year. So it's been an incredible experience for me. I'll remember forever. And yeah, so at the same time though, it's been very, very tough also, because the last 2 years losing to Lewis were extremely difficult moments for me, which fueled my motivation in a way that I didn't even know was possible, to fight back and to achieve my dream finally. So this year, yeah, it was extremely tough because I put absolutely everything into it. I didn't leave a stone unturned from Austin last year, really, where I suffered a lot after that loss. And yeah, so I pushed like crazy in all directions, and along with all my, everybody who was involved, which is also my family, a lot of sacrifices. Even my wife, for example, at home, every time I was home, she understood that I needed to rest, so I never did any nights to take care of my little daughter, Never did any nights, never did any difficult things. She was always there to support, to make it as easy as possible. And that's just one example of the commitment we all put into it. And yeah, that's why I'm just not willing. I've achieved this childhood dream now, and I'm not willing to do that sort of commitment again for another year. And I'm not interested in coming fourth or whatever. I'm a fighter, and I want to win. So yeah, not interested to do that again. Don't want to do it again. And so I've decided to follow my heart, and my heart has told me to stop there, call it a day, and go on to other things. And it's been wonderful, and it just feels right to me. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. My wife Vivian is also very, very excited. She'll have a husband back, and I'll be a dad again then in the next time, which is going to be wonderful. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much for your support as well these years. And yeah, I'm really cherishing the moment. It's absolutely awesome, all these experiences now, to share this success with all of you and with all the other people. It's been phenomenal. So looking forward to tonight. One of the most special things for me is also to have achieved it like my dad has been able to win the World Championship, so to share that with him. The first thing I did when I saw the World Championship trophy yesterday was to look for my dad, to see him, and that's been amazing. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you for joining
Jean, a very brave decision from Nico Rosberg there. I just wanted your thoughts on the legacy that he leaves behind.
I must say I was privileged because Toto gave me a call this morning just before we started the journal Sunday at 9. So, I was very surprised, and I'm sure that everybody is very surprised, but he had demonstrated all the year he was brave. I think he did 5-6 hardest laps of his life in the last race.
That's for sure.
You can imagine.
Horrible.
What are the consequences, and he made it. And the continuity is demonstrating that he's a smart, brave young boy. And I said to him, I hope you can help us more on campaigning on road safety. So I don't need the answer right now. Take some time to digest, but I'm sure. You're so gifted, and I will say we are so gifted. Can you imagine? When you see what is happening around the life and around the world, and then to be able at 31 to decide to give the next step to your life. So it's a big privilege, and congratulations, and a lot of of good luck to yourself.
Thank you. Well, Nico, bravo for you. So, where to start? I mean, the announcement you just made, very brave. How long have you been contemplating? Do we talk about the R word or not?
Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, it's after Suzuka. What's our word?
Well, retirement. Do we call it?
Oh
retirement?
no, let's call it anything something. Retirement is for old people. No, it's after Suzuka. Because in Suzuka, it became my title to lose, you know, and that's when the pressure really started also, and when I started to think about this, that yeah, if I do achieve my childhood dream, then I think it would be great to end there.
How difficult has it been for you to actually come out today and go official with it?
It's for me personally, it's not that difficult actually, because it just feels right, you know. So the only thing that makes it difficult for me is that I know that I'm putting my racing family into a challenging situation. That's the hardest part for me.
And had you won the World Championship prior to this year, do you think you would have made the same decision?
I don't know, it's impossible to answer that. I just know that now that is 100% related to having won the title.
And what has been the reaction of family and friends and people you've told? And I imagine very emotional.
Well, Vivian's super excited, of course, because she's also extremely tired after a season like that and with all the commitment she's put into it. My mom also, because she suffers so much. You know, she's never watched a race in her life. She always goes hoovering around the apartment because she's so scared. So she's very excited that finally she doesn't have to suffer anymore. Yeah, that's it.
Is it just an indication of how much it took out of you to win this championship in 2016?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I put absolutely everything into it, you know, and it was very, very tough. You know, Lewis is an amazing driver, one of the best out there, and yeah, and to beat him is just extremely tough, and especially also well, the last 4 races, but especially the last race, unbelievable. I mean, mentally crazy stuff.
I mean, talk us through that last race. Those last few laps, he was backing you up into the oncoming traffic, the guys behind you. What were you going through in the cockpit?
Yeah, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible because it was so near, you know, this to finally win this thing. It was so close, and yet still, you know, it was such a difficult situation because I didn't know how far Lewis was going to take this, how extreme he was going to go. And also, I could see behind, you know, there's Vettel and Verstappen, the 2 cars, you know, and my tires were degrading, and if I make the smallest mistake, the championship is finished. So it was, yeah, it was really, really, really horrible.
What has been the highlight? Obviously winning the title, but this whole season, you seem to have taken your game to a different level. Is that how you see it?
For sure, yes. This year was the best I can be, definitely. You know, in the preparation and everything, as I said, put everything into it. I'll give you some examples as well, maybe to understand. So for this year, since Austin last year, I started to work very, very closely with a mental trainer, and got into meditation and things like that also. And I've made massive progress as a result. You know, it's just finding those extra little percentages to perform even better. And mental training is difficult because it's something you need to persevere with. You know, it's every day, morning, evening. It's just on and on. Otherwise, there's no point. So, and that's something and so without that person who was supporting me, he has been part in this as well. That's been phenomenal progress also for me to discover that and to improve in that area. Another example, I bought a go-kart, you know, in the winter, and I've been just driving because we don't drive much out there. And so I'm sure that I can practice my skill and improve my skill a little bit more if I'm just out there driving something all the time. And again, that's days away from home, and I'm as good now as I was when I was fighting for the championship when I was 14, I think, in go-karts. that's how much I drove. So and I think I made a difference as well. And that's just some examples of how I gave it everything, didn't leave a stone unturned, and pushed. And so I'm very, very happy that it worked out.
And because this is the best you can be in 2016, that's why you feel now is the right time to call it an event.
No, it's very simple, because I've achieved what I set out for. You know, and this is and it's unbelievable how clear it was for me. Also, just even when I was 6 years old. I don't know for you who've seen the video on my Facebook. You know, starting off in go-karts. I remember that was my dream already in those days. Winning the world championship, probably inspired by my dad, because I knew that he did it, and all the way through. Of course, there it was more of a childhood thing. Then with later years, it became more and more serious as a proper target, a proper aim, and just going for that. And I've done it, you know. So I'm so happy, and at the same time, as I explained, you know, it was a very, very tough year. Don't want to do that again.
And it's been going out at the top.
Don't really think about it that way. Share it with as many people that I can, who've been supporting me. That's it.
Nico, what will you miss about Formula 1?
Well, the winning, of course. The winning is just it's so awesome. It's emotions which are indescribable. Sunday night, it's unbelievable. I mean, really, the amount of people I hugged after the race, so cool. And to do that, to party with my whole team. And so special for me to see how everybody was also happy for me, you know? That was really, really special for me. Even a lot of you from the media, and my family was there, my friends. Do you want me to take that, or? Okay?
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it's one of the fun moments ever, the Sunday night party, where it's just, we went nuts. So I'm not at my best now, because I'm still struggling from it.
Nico, tell us about the last week. Yeah, as far as I can make out, you've been all over the globe. You've had people congratulating you from Malaysia to Germany to just talk us through what your schedule has been.
Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. Celebrating Sunday night in Abu Dhabi, then Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, amazing. The turnout in Petronas, the passion they have there for our sport, for our team, unbelievable. One of the best moments actually of the whole thing. Then celebrations in Germany, in my hometown, Wiesbaden, which was fun, with my family, my mom, and everything. Then with the team yesterday, Brackley, you know, all those guys, best guys in the world. And I'm here because of them. They made the car, you know, they gave me the best car on the grid. And so a celebration with them, which was fun. And then now here, and it's just on and on. Doesn't stop, but it's great.
And it's not going to stop for some while after the news you've broken today. Let's open this to the floor, guys. Who's got a question for the world champion? John.
Okay, congratulations, and you take us all by surprise today.
Yeah, please, because you still pass with the mic.
So the thoughts started coming up from Luca once the title became something real that I really could get. So that's when the thoughts started to come. And then the funny thing is, with all the mental work and preparation and everything, the thing that gave me most clarity before Sunday's race in Abu Dhabi was the thought, actually I'm going to win this here today, so this is going to be my last race. So let's take it all in. And that's actually, funnily enough, that's the thing that gave me most clarity before the race, and took away some of that massive pressure, because I knew, okay, let's try and enjoy some of this as well. So that was very nice. Of course, that all finished once the lights went off, because after that it was the most intense and crazy race and tough race of my life. But and then it was just a process on Monday. Didn't know if I had the balls, but so it took a bit of time. But I'm going through with it, and I'm feeling great. So it was more or less Monday, Tuesday.
Nico, what was the reaction of your father when you told him that you were going to retire?
Understanding. So that was nice. I mean, my whole family is just very, very happy, and of course they just wish me to do what my heart tells me to do. So they're happy with that, and they know that's what I want to do, and so very understanding.
Lawrence Edmonds from ESPN. Nico, just for clarity, are you ruling out ever coming back to Formula 1?
No, definitely not. Finished.
Done.
Done.
No smash.
End of story.
Will you race anything else?
I don't know. My next step is being a dad and a husband for a while. And that I'm very much looking forward to.
Chris ended up tonight. Nico, congratulations firstly on the title and on this event as much as it has for everyone sat here.
No, for sure not. That was my #1 priority, to let the team know as soon as I could, because I know it's late. It's late in the year for something like that. So actually, Toto was the second person I told, and that was on, I'm not really sure, well, some beginning of the week sometime. Because as I said, that's the only difficult thing about this, is that I'm putting them into a difficult, challenging situation. If I work for that, it would be easy, or easier, and yeah.
Perhaps now is the moment to bring on Toto Wolff, team principal of Mercedes. Toto, come and join us. Thank you. Well, tell us about the moment when Nico broke the news to you about time, if you want to call it.
Well, it was a very difficult moment. We spent some time together after Abu Dhabi. We've been in Malaysia, spent the whole day there. It was pretty emotional because there was just such a big crowd cheering for Nico, and something I have never seen. Coming into the towers and 3,000 or 4,000 people in green t-shirts shouting his name was just really unbelievable. And yeah, then we hopped on a flight from KL to Singapore, and then from Singapore to Frankfurt, and then we had some emotional discussion, and he was so clear by what he said that it was no doubt in his decision, and very difficult for me personally. And yeah, that's what I told him.
Nico, it's clearly an emotional moment. How difficult was it for you to have that conversation with him?
Yeah, massively difficult. In fact, I couldn't tell him in person. I had to call him just after we parted ways because it was just too intense, especially with 3 hours sleep in 2 days. I couldn't do it. So, because as I said, that's the most difficult part for me.
And Toto, what was your first reaction?
Yeah, it was. I knew it was something because we spent a long time in the plane, having dinner and talking about lots of things, and then the moment I left the lounge in the morning to jump on the plane to Stuttgart, and obviously Nico was going to restart. He called me, and I said, "I'm coming back." He said, "Don't come back." That was the moment.
Did you try and persuade him to stay on?
We've known each other since 4 years now, and one thing I admire with Nico is his clarity of thinking. He's black and white, and although you could have argued that after 3 days of celebration, maybe you need to become sober in order to take a decision, but that is not with Nico. He knows exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's in control of his thinking. So there was not, for the first moment he told me, there was no doubt that this is the decision, and that's it.
Nico has been at Mercedes since the beginning. What legacy does he leave behind?
A huge legacy. First of all, the way he's decided to leave Formula 1 is something that is unheard of. It's something that all of us admire in a certain way, to call it a day when it's the best and when you're at the top. And he has been part of the development of the team since the very early days, and such a strong pillar. The team has performed in the way it did because the balance is right between the drivers and the dynamics within the team. Traveling to 20 Grand Prix every year, the energy is hugely important, and Nico was a big contributor to that energy in the team. So besides, and I could not go on for 10 minutes, besides the know-how, his skill as a driver, the way he's setting up the cars, giving us direction in the development of the car, direction on how you put the car on the racetrack, the interaction with Lewis and the engineers. I mean, there's so much.
How good has he been this year? Is this? He says it's the best he can be. Have you seen him step up this year?
The result shows it. He won the World Championship. He's the best driver. He's the best driver in Formula 1 today, and the points showed it. And the way I perceived the last couple of races was that he was extremely professional. He needed what he did what was needed, and he had an incredible winning streak at the beginning of the season. They built the foundation, and he just drove it home.
It was incredibly impressive. Nico, do you take, how much satisfaction do you take from the fact that you've been here since the beginning? You've been with the team for 7 years, you've grown with them, and finally you've won the World Championship.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story really for me, because starting from day one, and because together we've been through the horrible times. You know, we had some proper dark moments together, and that makes you grow together as well. You know, 2012 or something, for example, where we're finishing 12th and 16th, you know, it's proper bad, and especially when you don't really know why. And then to come through that fighting, and then start dominating the sport in the way that we did, and then still for me to lose 2 times to Lewis in very, very tough ways for me, extremely tough, and then to finally take it away from him in the last year. The whole way it happened made it all extra special.
Okay, Toto, I know a lot of people will be thinking, what happens next? Who is going to drive Nico's car in 2017? Have you had a chance to think about that yet?
No, I think the first on the agenda was to give Nico the opportunity to tell everybody that he's stopping. We didn't want this to leak, so we kept it in a very small circle. And obviously now we have to consider all options. And it will be very hard to Sebastian Ogier is putting the arm up. So there is a completely new, very strong option here. We start to look at this on Monday.
Okay, any questions from the floor for either of these two? Chris, yeah.
So just sort of following on from some of the points Nico's made, did you get the feeling from him earlier this year that this was ever a potential opportunity that he may sort of try and achieve this goal and then finish racing? He said he was thinking about it since Japan.
No, not at all. He's had a bit of a feeling which I couldn't quite judge when we traveled, that there was something going on. No, but it took me completely by surprise, and I only went to Stuttgart and saw some of the board members and Niki, and they were equally surprised. It was something we would have never imagined. But equally, in the same way, it really causes admiration within me.
Nico, how much did you miss driving?
How much do I miss driving? I have no idea. I'll tell you next year. I don't know. I don't. Of course, no. Of course, I mean, there's so many wonderful parts, you know. So of course I'll miss that. That's for sure. There's so many nice things, so many fun things about this job, which is why we're doing it. So definitely I'll miss something, but I think on a whole, 1000% sure, I'll be happy with the new direction. Yes, Kate.
Kate Walker, motorsport.com. Question for Toto. You said a minute ago that you admired Nico's decision to get out on a high and to leave on a strong note. Is this something that we can expect to see in the future if and when Mercedes does leave the sport? Will you only announce your departure after a series of successful wins, or will you consider leaving at the bottom?
That's kind of a harsh question. I hope we'll never reach the bottom. No, this is a different situation. If Nico took the decision for himself because it felt right as an individual, as a racing driver. And we, as Mercedes, we have a long-term strategy.
Some really surprising breaking news emanating from Formula 1 is that the new F1 world champion Nico Rosberg has retired from the sport. A Mercedes spokesman in the last few moments has confirmed this. There were a couple of reports emerging that this shock move was going to come, and it has now been confirmed, being reported by the Press Association on wires, that a Mercedes spokesman has said that Rosberg has announced his retirement from Formula 1. It is very, very surprising, to say the very least. It ends a 10-year career in Formula 1. It's going to be intriguing to know what the reasons are.
Absolutely. We don't quite know yet. I'm sure our Formula 1 team will very much keep you up to date with exactly the reasons why, and why he has announced it now, as you were mentioning, of course, in Abu Dhabi. That was his... I've
got a statement here, you know. It's just popped up on Facebook. This is his statement. Let's read through it. Since 25 years in racing, it's been my dream, my one thing, to become Formula 1 world champion. Through the hard work, the pain, the sacrifices, this has been my target, and now I have made it. I have climbed my mountain. I am on the peak, so this feels right. My strongest emotion right now is deep gratitude to everyone who supported me to make that dream happen. This season, I tell you, it was so damn tough. I pushed like crazy in every area after the disappointments of the last 2 years. They fueled my motivation to levels I had never experienced before. But of course, that had an impact on the ones I love too. It was a whole family effort of sacrifice, putting everything behind our target. I cannot find enough words to thank my wife, Vivian. She has been incredible. She understood that this year was the big one. Our opportunity to do it, and created the space for me to get full recovery between every race, looking after our daughter each night, taking over when things got tough, and putting our championship first. If you're just joining us, this is a statement from Nico Rosberg via Facebook as he announces his retirement from Formula 1. He goes on to say in his statement, "When I won the race in Suzuka, from the moment when the destiny of the title was in my own hands, the big pressure started, and I began to think about ending my racing career if I became world champion. On Sunday morning in Abu Dhabi, I knew that it could be my last race, and that feeling cleared my head before the start. I wanted to enjoy every part of the experience, knowing it might be my last time. And then the lights went out, and I had the most intense 55 laps of my life. I took my decision on Monday evening after reflecting for a day. The first people I told were Vivian and, hold on, I can't actually go into that, George, who is from Nico's management team, he says. So, there you have it. That is a statement from Nico Rosberg, retiring from Formula 1, having achieved his #1 goal in the sport. He's got to the top, and he wants to bow out at the top. It's quite a staggering story, but he's explained exactly why he wanted to make this move.